In this video, I'd like to explore the concept of a change mindset and how differences and conflicts between change mindsets may be the source of tension in an agile team. I will start by defining what I mean by mindset. I'll then go and look at 4 different change mindsets that you can frequently observe in organizations. I will then look at how these mindsets may clash, cause conflict and tension within teams, and then explore the concept of a 5th change mindset that I believe will solve the problems. So the first thing to do is to define the concept of mindset and why it's important. Mindset is a concept borrowed from psychology. A mindset is the name given to the group of assumptions, beliefs, underlying worldview that a person holds, and that this underlying set of assumptions forms the basis of how we feel about the world and how we act within it. So the underlying mindset that we adopt shapes how we behave when we try to deal with things. In this video, I'll be discussing about the way that mindsets have an impact on the way that we tackle uncertainty and change in the world around us. The key to the model of mindset is the concept of behavior, response, belief. That is, according to the concept of mindset, the behaviors that people exhibit in a particular situation are driven by their emotional response to that situation. And in turn, that emotional response is driven by their underlying attitudes, beliefs, and worldview. Taking this idea forward, I'm going to explore 4 mindsets that are common in relation to people's responses and behaviors around change and uncertainty. The first is a mindset that says change is simple. So in this view of the world, any change, any set of uncertain circumstances is seen as an extension of the current situation. So that any change process is a simple transition to a new normal. Fundamentally, what this mindset says is, because the world is essentially the same, what has worked before will work again. The emotional response that is derived from the simple change mindset is a desire to seek order in the application of a particular approach or framework to the solution of the situation, of resolving the conflict. The behaviors that will be seen driven by this emotional response will be a focus on the correct selection and implementation of a standard approach, a best practice, a cohesive way of working. And you will see in the organization continuing debates over the purity of the process in its application and an endless debate over the definition of terms. The second mindset that you commonly see is one that holds that change is complicated, i.e., that change is difficult, but it is controllable. That through the application of experience, expertise, and knowledge, that the situation of change or uncertainty can be overcome. Fundamentally, this mindset says, because we are smart, we can fix the problem. The emotional response to the complicated mindset is to seek order in knowledge and experience, to focus on the building and bonding of a team of experts that can tackle the problem systematically. You'll see great effort put into creating an enjoyable, shared, problem-solving experience. So the behaviours that come out of this emotional response will be focused on team selection, team membership, and a debate and discussion about the construction of appropriate solution rather than solving the problem. The solution, the mechanism becomes all. The third mindset sees change as complex. Therefore, the situation of uncertainty and change is emergent. That is, it cannot be simply extrapolated from the current and must be explored and mapped out. Fundamentally, what this mindset says is, because we are smart, we can understand this. The emotional response that grows out of this mindset is one that seeks to impose order by looking at the data, to focus on the facts, and to focus on extracting meaning from the facts. So in terms of behavior, you will see people focusing on the collection and interpretation of data, on the construction and testing of models and algorithms. Fundamentally, what people are trying to do is understand the problem rather than solve it. The fourth common mindset sees change as chaotic. In this way of looking at the world, there is no order or pattern in the change. There is no simple solution. There is no expertise available. There are no patterns to discern in the data that can be modelled. In this mindset, the most important thing is to get in control. Fundamentally, because the situation is out of control, we need to get on top of it. The emotional response growing out of this mindset is simple: the seek to impose order where none currently exists. So what you'll see in people's behaviours deriving from this particular mindset will be a focus on the imposition of order. There'll be huge emphasis placed on clear leadership, lines of authority, detailed plans, clear objectives and key results. The message of this video is that it is in the clash and conflict of these mindsets around change that much of the tension and conflict in Agile teams can be witnessed. At the heart of understanding how the mindset differences can generate conflict inside teams is the need to understand the emotional response element of the model. People's responses to changes and their responses to other people's responses to change can seem irrational to other people because of this emotional element. I have been involved in many IT development projects where the developers have demanded that they are left alone by the process police so they can actually make things rather than ticking boxes and filling forms. I've seen Agile coaches saying that there is a right way to work and this isn't it. I've seen compliance officers in the same project insisting that nothing anybody is doing is worth anything if it's not done right. And over it all, I've heard the project manager screaming that no one is doing what they are supposed to be doing in the timescale that they, the project manager, have promised to the client. I believe that one of the resolutions to this situation of conflict is to seek to build and have implemented a fifth change mindset, one that welcomes change, that sees it as inevitable and positive, but also understands that any attempt to manage the change, to steer it in a particular direction, is doomed to failure. Fundamentally, this mindset says we don't know what we're doing, and that's okay. The emotional response that grows out of this mindset is one of acceptance and a fundamental desire to deal with a changed situation without prejudice, without detailed plan or categorical response. The behaviors that grow out of this emotional response are an acceptance that any framework, any process, any model, any expert, any data, any plan that we generate is probably wrong and will almost certainly need to be abandoned sooner rather than later. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it has been of value to you.